Well, how are we going to go about this problem? I think a lot of geometric problems like this would require a picture. So draw a picture. Drawing a picture is a perfectly good strategy for attacking a problem. From a point 100 feet from the base of a building, Angie, draw it. Angie standing on the ground because that's where she stands. Draw Angie. You can draw her tall, skinny, short, fat. You can draw her whatever ethnicity or just whatever. Just draw Angie. You can draw Angie with 3 fingers on one hand, looks like a broom hand, and 6 on the other, while wearing a big cowboy hat. Alright, there's Angie. She looks like a scarecrow. There we go. She's standing away from a building. And she looks up at a 40-degree angle to the top of the building. Now, I about drew it coming from her eyes, but apparently she has eyes in her shoe because they never talked about her actual height. They never said that, you know, you're going to have to add her height to it. We did some problems like that where we would add someone's height, and we had this little tricky thing going on here. We're not going to do that. Now, already this is starting to look familiar because there is a right angle here, assuming the building is not leaning. She's not in Italy looking at a certain famous building. She looks up at a 40-degree angle, and again that's from ground level, which is slightly unrealistic, but they're simplifying the problem for us, to the top of the building. Now she's 100 feet away. Okay, now before we even read the second sentence, let's stop. What do you know? Well, everything you know you've put in the problem, put in the picture. Now, before we read anything else, there's some things we can figure out. We can figure out a lot. We can find out what this angle is. It's 50 degrees. 180 minus 90 and 40. We can figure out that using trigonometry. We can figure out that using trig. We can figure out all kinds of stuff. Let's keep reading. She walks 20 feet closer to the building. Good for her. At approximately what angle must Angie now look up to see the top of the building? Well, Angie just moved. Let's draw her again. When she moved, she changed to the color green. And now she's slightly normal, and she's got a funny hat. And so now we want to know at what angle does she have to look up. You can put a question mark. You can put whatever you want. I'm going to put a theta because we don't know what angle she has to look up. Now, this is 100. How much is this? Don't say 20. This is 100. Let's think this through. This is 20, so this must be 80. This is 80. This is 20. The whole thing is 100, and that's 20 feet, 80 feet. I might be making this problem a whole lot harder than it is. Let's not make it more difficult than it is. Before she ever moved, this was our triangle. 40, 100, x. Opposite, adjacent, tangent, degrees. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. The tangent of 40 degrees is equal to x over 100. You grab your calculator. You know how to do this. You can do it quick. Make sure you're in degrees. I am. So 100 times the tangent of 40. The building is 83.91 feet tall. So 83.91. That is fantastic. But now the question is, at what angle would we need here? So let's draw another triangle. Or just go with the one you have, either way, but I'm just going to draw it and simplify it a little bit. So now this is 80. This is 83.91. Can I go ahead and tell you that I know what the answer is without even looking at the answer key? Can I tell you how I know? These two are almost identical. They're only 3.91 away from each other. Because they are so close, this is nearly isosceles, which means these should be pretty much the same. If they're going to be the same, then they are close to 45. The answer is going to be B. Now, don't stop the video just because I said that. Let's go through this process real fast. Opposite and adjacent is tangent. So now it's the tangent of 83.91 over 80. I'm going to feel ridiculous if the answer is not B. All right, inverse tan, because we're looking for the measure of an angle. 83.91 divided by 80. There we go. 46 degrees. The answer, sure enough, was B. There it is.